You've just been invited to what sounds like the opportunity of a lifetime, a share in a gleaming new commercial development in Brickell or Wynwood. You're told the deal is passive. The sponsor will handle everything. And you'll just sit back and collect the monthly distributions. Sounds easy, right? Now imagine 6 months later, that same easy investment is under SEC investigation. And so are you. I'm Santiago Cueto, a board-certified international business law expert and best-selling author based right here in Miami. I've advised investors, developers, and real estate syndicates on multi-million-dollar deals. And today, I want to pull back the curtain on one of the most overlooked legal minefields in Florida's booming commercial real estate market: securities compliance and passive real estate syndications. Miami is red hot. From office towers in Coral Gables to mixed-use spaces in Wynwood, commercial real estate syndications are multiplying by the day. Everyone from doctors to digital nomads are looking to park their money in passive real estate deals. But here's the problem. Many of these syndications are actually offering unregistered securities, and most passive investors and even some sponsors don't even realize it. Today, I'm going to give you the 5 power plays to keep you out of the SEC's crosshairs. Here's power play number 1. Understand when a real estate deal becomes a security. The moment a real estate investment is marketed to passive investors, where the investor puts money but has no role in management, you may have triggered the Howey test. Under federal law, that makes the investment a security. In simple terms, if your investor expects profits solely from the efforts of others, that's a security. Doesn't matter if it's a shopping center or a condo conversion. And if it's a security, you'd better be compliant with federal and state securities laws or risk civil penalties, lawsuits, and even criminal charges. Here's power play number 2. Know that syndicates must be properly structured. Most real estate syndicates use LLCs or limited partnerships to pool investor money. But it's not the entity type that determines legality. It's how the deal is pitched and managed. If you're the sponsor and you're advertising the investment on social media, emailing prospects, or soliciting strangers, you may have engaged in general solicitation, which is prohibited unless your offering falls under these exemptions. And if you're not properly filing your Form D or verifying the investor accreditation, and if you're not following these steps, you're potentially walking into a compliance disaster. Here's power play number 3. Passive investors aren't immune. Many passive investors assume they're off the hook because they're not managing the deal, but that's a myth. If you invest in an unregistered or non-compliant syndicate, you can face loss of your investment, involvement in an enforcement action, or even personal liability if you're seen as a control person in the offering. In Miami, we've seen an uptick in whistleblowers and SEC scrutiny targeting high-profile real estate deals. So even being adjacent to non-compliant offerings can pull you into regulatory quicksand. Here's power play number 4. Watch out for promoters and influencers. In the age of Instagram and yes, YouTube, some syndicators are often paying influencers to promote their deals. That can trigger SEC advertising and promoter disclosure rules. If the influencer isn't properly disclosing that they're being paid and the sponsor isn't documenting it, that's another SEC violation waiting to happen. And here's the kicker. If the influencer helps bring in an investor and receives compensation, they could be acting as an unregistered broker-dealer, a serious offense under federal law. And here's power play number 5. Work with a securities attorney before you raise capital. This isn't about discouraging real estate syndication. In fact, when structured correctly, they're a powerful wealth-building tool. But before raising capital or joining a deal, you must consult with an attorney who knows securities law, not just a real estate lawyer. Proper syndication requires legal strategy, not shortcuts. We can help structure Reg D offerings, handle accredited investor verification, and make sure your deal is built to withstand scrutiny. So whether you're an investor being pitched the next big Wynwood warehouse flip or a developer trying to raise $10 million for a Brickell high-rise, stop and ask yourself, is this deal securities compliant? Because in the eyes of the SEC, ignorance is no defense. And Miami's real estate boom is increasingly on their radar. I'm Santiago Cueto. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. Tell me, have you been approached with a passive real estate opportunity that raised red flags? Your next big investment shouldn't turn into your next legal nightmare. See you in the next one.